Well, g'day footy fans. You're looking live at Adelaide, the South Australian capital. We're coming to you from ALDI Stadium in suburban Theberton for a historic day in the sport of Australian rules football. 61 years ago, these two leagues created history. The first ever game fully uninterrupted on television. Now, through the wonders of the World Wide Web and the production of Spacequake Sports, we bring you another historic moment. For the first time ever, not just a football game, not just a women's football game, not just an interstate game, but for the first time ever, a double header. A women's interstate game, a men's interstate game, same leagues, same day, same stadium. So sit back over the next 3 to 4 hours. We hope you enjoy the action wherever you are watching this afternoon, thanks to the production work of Spacequake Sports. It is the Victorian Amateur Football Association against the women from the Adelaide Football League in their first ever interstate encounter. My name is Phil Herden. I'm pumped and excited, hope you are too, for the action ahead. Joining me, adding some much needed expertise to what we'll be watching this afternoon, it's North Adelaide and Collingwood women's player Jess Edwards. Jess, welcome to ALDI Arena at Theberton. Interstate football, whatever the level, it's great to see these jumpers out there.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic, and I know the girls will be super excited to be a part of this, and it's fantastic that we can be live streamed as well so everyone else can get involved with us.
Alrighty, so the teams are about to line up for the national anthem. We will pause for that. Starting time due to be 1:10 later today. The Australian Amateur Football Council Championship Match, the rematch between South Australia and Victoria. That rivalry dating back to the 1920s. South Australia got up 2 years ago. The VICs have come over the border looking for revenge as we pause now for the national anthem. Well, we will, Jess, once the PA works out that they're ready for the national anthem. Been there, I've done the PA work, it's a tough one. Great to see the jumpers out there. Big games, you would have been in them in your time. The nerves of the players at this stage?
Yeah, I think that everyone's just waiting to hit like the first tackle, play the first 5 minutes, then you start to settle those nerves. So I'm sure to begin with there'll be a lot of nerves out there, but I think once you settle into the game, you just play as normal, you don't even know what's around you.
Weather conditions? As we await the anthem. Weather conditions today, maximum temperature believed to be about 17 degrees and cloudy. Was very cloudy early on, just starting to clear now. The ALDI Arena here at Theberton bathed in sunshine. As the PA announcer looks through his catalogue, where have I put the anthem today?
Where's the play button?
I remember doing an American football game at Carrara, now Metricon Stadium, where the Commonwealth Games was. A couple of American high school teams were there, and I'll tell you what, you do not want to lose the American national anthem.
Oh,
it's
I can imagine.
It's trouble.
Yeah. We might just need to start to sing it in a second.
Oh, that's what they do sometimes. Of course, this has a bit of a, the Spacequake Sports team cover baseball, and we had a very famous young lad who went to do the national anthem, and he got into hiccups in the middle of it, and he kept on pushing through it, and it was fantastic. Went on YouTube, went viral, and now he's known as Hiccups Boy.
Well done.
And his entertainment career has been launched.
It looks like we might need to sing it.
It'd be a shame if they can't. The PA announcer's probably got to get on the mic and start doing an a cappella version in it.
Well, it would be entertaining.
Of course, it's not something that you see that often at footy. A little bit of crackling in the PA system as we await. Not something you see that often at most Australian rules football games. They save it for finals, state games, I guess big events.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There we go.
And with much relief and applause, the national anthem has been played, and the players now will greet each other before taking their positions and let the battle get underway. Jess, you would know a few of these players in your travels?
Yeah, I've obviously recently moved over to Victoria and playing there, so some of the girls, one of them actually is in my team, Sarah Cameron, number 20, she's a gun, up forward. I hope she'll kick us a few goals, keep it entertaining. And then, yeah, some of the South Australian girls I've played with or against for the last 2 years. So,
fantastic. Not too far away from the action, we'll have another special guest commentator joining us. The captains today, Ruby Grounds from Melbourne University. She is the captain for the Victorian Amateur Football Association, and for the SA Women's from the Morphy Parks Rouge, Chelsea Parker. And we have a VAFA tragic part of the great podcast team I watched during the week. Nick Armistead joins us. Nick, welcome to Thebby.
Thank you. What a fantastic occasion this is. Really looking forward to it. Both sides look like they're up and about. It looks like you guys have a few skillful girls out there, judging from the warm-up.
yes.
Well, it's going to be interesting, of course. So much changes at the speed of light with women's football at the moment. It's been an amazing journey. I think, Nick, would I be right in saying, is it VAFA, VAFA? What am I allowed to get away with today?
Now, I get in trouble by saying it's VAFA, it's VAFA.
VAFA, okay, dollar in the fine jar every time I say VAFA. VAFA, my understanding, only the second year they've had a women's competition.
Correct, yes. We started last year with 40 teams. We're up to 63 now and about 3,000 girls. Wow. So for these 22 girls, it's a great privilege and a great honour, and they all deserve to be out there today. And Jess,
you would have experienced something similar at Sandford level, second year of the statewide Super League. It just came from nowhere and it's exploding.
Yeah, it's, like you can't even have words of how much it's growing. It's fantastic though, and it's amazing to be a part of. We're creating something brand new, and it'll be amazing to look back in 20 years and see where we came from.
The umpires today, we should give them a rap at the start of the game. Not sure how we'll go during the game. I note that they have done the smart thing. They're all wearing the Adelaide Footy League jumpers today, so you cannot tell who is from Adelaide, who's from Melbourne. Very smart thinking there. Mark Goods from South Australia umpired the 27 Women's League Grand Final, Adelaide Footy League. And Ollie Murray, Nick, umpiring the 2017 Under-18 and in the VAFA Premier Grand Final last year. So two experienced umpires out there.
Yeah, very much so. Ollie especially, he was winning VAFA Umpire Awards last year. So we've brought the best of the best over from the VAFA for the big game.
Just the boundary umpires, Tyson Smith from South Australia, Sean Burke from Victoria. The goal umpires, Lisa Cockrove, South Australia, Jasmine Liu from Victoria. As mentioned, we won't tell them apart. They don't have numbers, they don't have their respectives. But we try not to mention the umpires too much. The two leagues, they will run under similar rules. My understanding is that they'll run under, because it's in South Australia, it's the Adelaide Football League rules today.
I believe so, yeah.
And we'll be interested to see if that means any. I don't think there's any drastic changes to that, though.
Well, the changes we just went through, the key changes are third man up or third woman up, third person up is allowed, which we obviously don't do over in Victoria. And deliberate out of bounds, I think it's going to be a pretty deliberate handball or kick over the line that's going to get called.
Yes, when it gets called.
Alrighty, we are set to rock and roll. Welcome to ALDI Arena in Theberton. First time ever at women's level, South Australia, Victoria, the Australian Amateur Football Council, and we are set to rock and roll. Surprise, surprise, Victoria, the big V in the navy blue, South Australia, the traditional red. Victoria will be kicking to the left of your screen, as there's just a big scrimmage in the middle. Penny Brown, Grace Duffy picking up the ball there. So we've got a secondary ball up, looking for somewhere to get out, and eventually there'll be another tackle, some hard work on the inside, as expected early, Jess.
Yeah, definitely. I think the girls will take a little bit of time to just grab some composure, especially a lot of them haven't actually played together too. So, but I think it'll start to spread out eventually.
Danny Corletai trying to move it forward. They've a little bit of a scrimmage at the moment, gained about 15-20 metres. Victoria kicking to the left, which is the northeast. The South Australians will kick to the right, to the southwest. This is Corletti with a kick inside 50. First forward, four-way for Victoria. South Australia there with numbers in defence. Hard footy to get at ground level. Might have been a push there. On top of the play there was Kiana Lee. Apologies, Margaret Gleeson. And of course, the Gleesons, Nick, very quickly, a brother-sister combination. First time at interstate level.
The first time, and hopefully we see a few more, but great for both of them. And the parents are over here as well.
So again, hard footy to pick up, plenty of pressures you would expect at this level. That was Captain Chelsea Packer with the tackle. Part of the Morphy Parks team at the Adelaide Footy League. Tap into space. Here's a hand pass out. Getting the kick away there for the Victorians was Margaret Gleeson, who's going to head towards that boundary line in front of what is a wonderful scoreboard.
Yeah, it's nice and big.
It is nice and big. Can't miss those scores. Can't miss those sponsors either, which is equally as important. And there's plenty of footy clubs around the country that would love a scoreboard like that. Boundary umpire to throw it in. Goes with the hand pass. Kick away by South Australia. This is Annie Byrne. Sends the Crow Eaters forward. I'm just going to call the VAFA the big V through most of the afternoon. Nick, I trust that's acceptable. No fines there.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. So we're back in the centre square. Victoria have done all of the attacking thus far. It's right on that 50-metre arc, beautifully painted in the South Australian colours. Again, a tap here, a partial handball there. This is Penny Brown doing a lot of hard work at ground level. And eventually, umpire will let it go. Something you'd probably expect at this level today. Let the girls sort it out. Hand pass into nothing there from South Australia. Puts teammate under a lot of pressure. That was Sam Saunders.
Okay.
And in the end, I think there's going to be a holding the ball. Just looking to pick up player with it. Could be Tessa's.
I think it's Margaret.
Margaret with a high kick inside 50. No one can take the mark. Ball spill. South Australia trying to get. Big first test of the jumper. It's a strong one today. Picked up by Annie Byrne. She's from 45. And another free kick. And this, Nick, will go the way of the South Australians.
No, we've got this one.
Oh, it's Victoria, my apologies.
Yeah, I think she came into... I probably would have given that to us, but that's okay. We aren't the umpires out there today.
Hometown bias getting in early. Sorry, folks. 40 metres out. First shot on goal will be touched over for a behind.
That's what I asked you, Jess. As far as ruck goes today, we've got Taylor Padfield in for us. She's had a pretty good start. Who's she up against, and what can we expect?
Yeah, well, at the moment she's up against Annie Burns, who wasn't actually going to start on place with an emergency list, and she's come in, so it's fantastic for her. I played with her back at Adelaide Uni. She's got a great leap on her and can move around the ground. But we do have Taylor. Sorry.
Yeah, just kick back in, marked by Sarah Cameron.
Sarah Cameron's from the Scob Saints, won the Rising Star last year. She played in our Big V game last year, kicked 3 goals, and one of the best players.
A big win.
She should go for this.
So you think within range. Look straight off the boot, just got to hang a little bit to the right, and that is the VAFA doubling their score. They're 2 behind South Australia yet to go, and we have gone 4.5 minutes of a very tight first quarter. This time SA looking to bring it back in. Sets a task for Erica Spawn, who gets the hand pass across. One of the first clear possessions for the Crow Eaters, going down the grandstand wings here at the moment, where there's lots of blue for Victoria. Keeping it in bounds, and then a sandwich. Laying the tackle was Kiana Lee. And if I'm right, Kiana plays for Smosh. Smosh don't have an adult women's team, but they do have an under-18, so I assume she might be an underage player going this way.
Yeah.
Rebecca Watson, her kick is smothered. Nice little spinning top of a kick down the centre wing. Lots of blue here. What can the VAFA do? Nicely picked up by McClendon. Over to Long, but straight down a red jumper. Ellen Forza into the middle.
Great hands.
So a nice little pass play. Gray Stuffy has it. The Saint from Christie's Beach. This one smothered by Sasha Long from Beau Morris. But it ricochets back to the South Australian. There's an open player at 55 metres. Decides to mark, to run. The long kick back of the pack. Looking out there for Taylor McKay, but Victoria have the numbers and they're going to clear momentarily. Bit of pressure at the forward 50. A good tackle at ground level. That will bring the stoppage. I can take a breath. Folks, what's your thoughts of the first few minutes?
Well, I thought South Australia might make us pay on the rebound there, and hopefully, from our point of view, that doesn't continue all day, but it looks like you do move it well off half-back through the middle.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that way. Looks really good, actually.
5 minutes in Victoria's forward 50, but SA's clear movement looked pretty good. Soccer kick by the VAFA back inside South Australia's forward 50. I assume that's going to count as an inside 50.
The pressure from both teams is looking really strong.
Rucks go to it. Hard footy, 45 metres out. This doing great work with the ball was Chantel Reynolds from Angle Vale. Got the kick away. 45 metres out, and again at the stoppage. If you just joined us, this is the VAFA, the Victorian Amateur Football Association. Second year they've had women's footy. It's absolutely exploded. I think I was looking at it, something like 7 divisions or something. Absolutely ridiculous. And the Adelaide Footy League now something similar. Clearing kick only as far away as the SA Vice Captain in Georgia Taylor. Kick smothered. Spills now to Victorian captain Ruby Grounds. Can she get out of the mire? Not on this occasion. Although, I think she's earned herself a free kick at ground level. Oh no, ball up. Down to Grounds. Grounds sort of a half-airy kick. Spills to the South Aussies. Clean pick up by Kavoris. In the middle, holding on, and this will be the big V with the ball.
Ruby Grounds, the captain. Monday night she was told, from Melbourne University, her first year in the VAFA this year, and she's clearly making inroads.
Yeah, and I saw the footage, the reaction of the change rooms. Very popular choice.
Very much so.
SA trying to go forward, marked there by Lamey Head from Old Carey Grammar in the Premier White division. You'll have to explain to me when we get a breath, Nick, about Premier and Premier Blue and White and Div 1.
We will need a breath or two.
We'll need a breath or two. The VAFA moving it forward. This is through Sasha Long. It's been, Victoria had the best of the field position, and it's that kind of game where there's not a lot of fast movement. It's
a lot of congestion.
A lot of congestion. Victoria leading 2-0 thus far, 11 minutes gone. Anyone know how long these quarters are? That is a sensational tap and a forward 50. Almost the mark there by Shaylee Taylor. In front of the scoreboard, the VAFA wanting to add a goal to it.
Camo.
Spills to ground. Here's a shot on goal behind. Who had the snap on that one?
Camo.
Sarah Cameron. Now, one thing to watch out for today from Sarah Cameron, she loves a celebration, guys.
She does.
So if she does put one through, expect a bit of movement.
I think we'll see her getting a lot of the ball today, to be honest.
SAs, they've done every kick out. They've come on the grandstand side. This is Lindsay Bigg from the Morphy Park Roos. We'll bring it right down towards the grandstand again. Shayna Kavoris, Christie's Beach, played with the Panthers, the Premiership South Adelaide Panthers in the statewide Super League. Hot footy on the centre wing, well picked up by Kat O'Brien. She's got some help. Ruby Grounds again smothered. That was Reynolds kicking it forward for the Crow Eaters. Again, Victoria with some clear numbers, although struggling to get it loose.
Some great movement out of there, though.
O'Brien, I think, did well just to draw the player to free up the others and release. This is Farrier, but straight in the hands of McDonald. The game just starting to open up a little bit. Players able to find some space to get a clear kick away. It's inside forward 50. Leading the race for the ball there is Riley Chris Georgie. Hope I got that right, Nick.
Chris Gergel.
Chris, sorry?
Yes, Chris Gergel.
Chris Gergel, okay. We're in front of the scoreboard. Have to remember that one. Here's a snap on the wrong foot. It's high. It's going to lob in the goal square. Take a crazy bounce. Sit by the boundary.
It's Camo again.
It is.
And Sarah Cameron is just trying to find some open space. Can't do so. Handball back. Victoria trying to go back to go forward. It does free up an open goal all of a sudden. Shot by Margaret Gleeson just a little offline. And all of a sudden, Jess, South Australia are under siege once again.
Yes, they're doing very well in that back line, putting as much pressure on they can.
No, absolutely. We're getting the ball deep, but on the last line of defence, Crow Eaters, is that what we're going with?
Yes, I like
that. Crow Eaters pretty much is it.
We don't know if that's offensive or not.
No. It's like sand gropers. It probably was a term of derision, but we've adopted it. Anyone on the field of play looks to be a South Aussie free. 10.5 gone. I know that the statewide Super Sandford quarters, I think, went for 17 minutes.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
So I assume something similar here, although there is a game to follow, so I'd assume. And we did have a slightly delayed start with the anthem. You weren't on the PA system by any chance, were you, Nick?
No, unfortunately not. I was down on the ground amongst all the other girls who were waiting, but nothing like building a bit of anticipation.
Huge throw by the boundary umpire. Beautiful tap down by McLinnan. She's doing a huge amount of work at ruck. The VAFA trying to find some clear space inside forward 50. It's all red, blocking it up beautifully at the moment. Hand pass though, here's a steal. Looking for a zig and a zag. That was Hannah Stewart. Kick away, almost the mark by the behind post. Here's going to be the miraculous snap.
There you go.
And what do you know?
Great goal.
Caitlin Grosner from Melbourne Uni has got the goal on the board with a sensational snap that anyone would be proud of.
Now, Caitlin Grosner came to Melbourne Uni just 2 games ago. She's kicked 8 goals in her 2 games. She played the 7 games for the Western Jets, but that is all the AFL that she's ever played.
Soccer player.
Soccer player, correct. And if you've seen some of her highlights, for one of the taller, bigger girls at ground level, she's outstanding.
Well, that was something like escape to victory.
That was beautiful.
The soccer kick Pele over the top.
Will the VFL team be looking to play her? Or?
I think that it won't be long before the VFL
I was going to say, with that type of snap, let's put her on the forward line.
Yeah, correct. Coming out of the goal square, she's almost unstoppable, especially at VAFA level.
So, Victoria finally reward for effort. They've had most of the field position, most of the play. And they've got the ball again. Nat McDonald, well, looked good off the boot, but missed the target. SA would probably want to take a breath. Quarter time, you'd expect just a few minutes away. 9-point lead to the visitors. And in the end, mark taken by Kat O'Brien.
She's looking good back, Kat O'Brien. She started well with 3 or 4 touches.
So Victoria happy just to try and work it methodically down.
Good grab.
And that was very well done. Out on the outer wing, the city wing. Good distance with the kick. A chance for the Victorians to set something up if they can pick up the football. Nothing doing. Ground rubber kick will go in the way of Pavlovich for South Australia, working it through a pair of hands. They look good when they've got the ball in a bit of space, South Australia, just don't have it often enough. Hard collision on the half-forward flank for the South Aussies. They do get it back. This is Kaylee Pearson from the Modbury Hawks inside 50 where there's a mark. Too far out to score. It's the quick release and play. Lots of blue jerseys, but in the midst of that, a South Aussie mark. And this is Taylor McKay.
Yeah, I think they might put her through the rocks for a bit, but depends on how she goes around the ground. But yeah, she's got a good kick on her. Greatest set of hands, clearly. She's just actually moved to Adelaide Uni, so
she's got a bit of Dane Swans about her. All
she does, doesn't she? So let's hope she gets this through. She does.
Right over the goal umpire's head. And from limited opportunities, South Australia have got their first goal on the board. Keep it to a 3-point margin. And keeps the game interesting early days.
Definitely does.
Yeah, great rebound from South Australia then, only a couple of minutes after we kicked our first. Missed a few opportunities, obviously, early on, but the South Australia deserved that, especially after the defensive pressure from the opening half of this quarter.
Yeah, certainly SA are doing the job in ruck, and I think they might be about to make the ruck change. As they go to it right in the middle of ALDI Arena again, another tap to the Victorian Amateurs. On this occasion, South Australia read it a little bit better, but 3-on-1. Eventually, SA I thought was going to win the contest, but the kick was smothered. Now Victoria will get the clearance. Penny Brown sends it inside 50 to the front of the pack. What can the navy blue do? Oh, beautiful pick up, fake spin move. This is Rhiannon Green to the goal square. How is it going to sit? It's not for the Victorians, and South Australia are going to get clear.
That was a great little push off and a little kick for goal.
That's one way to get free inside forward 50. Barnett goes with the long kick inside 50. Who's the crummer? Who's at ground level? No one there at the moment for the Victorians. Again,
she was very lucky there.
Yeah, it was either holding the ball shot on goal or free into space, and luckily from a hometown perspective, it was a defensive clearance towards centre wing, just Victorian side where a pack's going to descend. 15.5 minutes gone. Game's just opening up a little bit now and seems to be pretty evenly matched. Although, bit of a collision there. That was Barnett again with the ruck tap. Almost in the T-saucer here at ALDI Arena. Nice pick up, look away handball by Kat O'Brien. They're moving through the middle. I think that was, I've got to tell the girls not to have the hair obstruct the numbers. Very hard to call.
Please all wear buns when you play.
Haven't had that issue too many times.
We need the pigtail so it comes down on the side.
Danny Stewart has had her possession smothered. The Victorians have about 4 players. If they can find a way to work it loose. Nice looping handball. It's into space. Rebecca Watson. Her kick is smothered at the last minute. Has an outside runner in Kalichi. Can she pick it up? She can. Centres the ball. Red jumper there. Quarter time is imminent. 3-point game. Victoria trying to clear it. This is going to be a stoppage, it is.
It's certainly quickened up over the last few minutes, guys.
It has. Some certainly longer possessions without a stoppage. I'm noting that on the voice, definitely. And in the end, an interesting one there, because that was Kaylee Pearson with the ball. Not sure she really attempted to get rid of it a lot, but not sure they're that strict on the interpretation at this level. From the pack, a kick pretty much out of nowhere. That was, you're going to help me with this one, Nick. Is Tessa
Zagantinos.
Zagantinos, that's how I've done it.
She goes by the nickname of Batman, if that makes anything easier.
Let's just call it Batman.
Can I call it Batman and get away with that? Beautiful kick from the goal line to Grace Duffy. She's on the 40 metres out.
Chip.
And got some numbers if they can do it cleanly. Maybe not. Fumble on the forward 50 up.
Could be a high. Yeah. Lucky there though. They really need to start to slow it down if they want to hopefully keep this scoreline.
Yeah, so it's a 4-point footy game at the moment. First quarter. First time these two league states have clashed. You get the feeling it's the first of many. The men have been going head-to-head since the 1920s. And great to see the first ever historic interstate doubleheader. South Australia trying to clear the ball, but nothing doing on that occasion. That was McKay. In the end, we've got a holding penalty. Here's going to be an interesting situation. We're about to tick into 18 minutes.
Now, Tessa doesn't mind a goal. Little half-forward flank for the Marcellin She-Eagles. They won the flag last year. She kicked 2 in the grand final. She might be on the brink of her distance here.
This will be a big test. No breeze to speak of. Off the side of the boot. We'll put it down almost as a well-planned pass because it was almost marked. Front of the scoreboard, tackled without the ball maybe, nothing doing. Not a lot of free kicks from the umpires. I think they've decided at this level, you're a premier player if you're representing your state. We're going to just let you play the game.
That's the way it should be too. Just let the girls play.
Again, the ruck stats would have to be huge in favour of Victoria. Another clearance, loose ball in the goal square. And eventually, this is where you've got to be careful because you can't give away the free kick, and it wasn't. So we're almost about to tick into 19 minutes. We hope the timekeeper hasn't had the same issues the PA guy had with the anthem. There's a siren to be blown at some point. Ground level, trying to get the hand pass away, but again, this is going to be another stalemate. I think no umpire let it go. Kick away by the South Aussies, looking for Farrier. That forward 50. Back. Nice bump, picked up though, returned and a mark. And I think that's Colby Franklin from Christie's Beach taking it for South Australia.
Yeah, she played a few games for Nord, I think 1 or 2 this year. She's definitely young, got lots of talent.
Chance for SA, they've got the ball and they are in space, but you've got to bounce it, and that was beyond Duffy at this point. Had some key backup, however, has the mark, 60 metres out, this is Reynolds, plays on, maybe she thinks the siren is imminent. Kick into space, but there is nothing red there. If it sits, Victoria should be clear. Good, intelligent tap forward. Wait for the cavalry to arrive and get the free kick.
Chris Gergel, he got one of our best players last year. Fantastic for Old Zavarians.
So about
read that well.
And that is quarter time. Good mark, we should say, to Kiana Lee, the young girl from Smosh. And there you have it, folks. Quarter time. Ferocious contest at the footy, back and forth a fair bit. I'm excited as to what's going to lie ahead the next 3 quarters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there were a few missed opportunities from the Big B. I think we can argue we had the majority of the play in that opening quarter, but the defensive pressure from the South Australians was really what kept it to just the 1 goal. But the way you're moving it the other way...
Yeah, they're moving it really well. They're definitely using the space as much as they can for the ground, and that's exactly what you want to be seeing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 3 quarters or so.
Yeah, I think Victoria have the height, maybe a bit of the physicality. Certainly the clearances and that clearance work.
Yeah,
and it's
really
an interesting
good.
one because you play your club footy week by week, and then this is an extra commitment on top of that. Would it be maybe 4 or 5 trainings together?
Yeah, so we had 4 trainings together, and then on selection night we train with the boys for half of it, then go off and do our own thing. But a lot of the girls are either gone to school together or know each other through the social scene on the schools, and especially obviously the Marcellin girls. We've got 5 of them in the team, so they all know each other well. So that obviously helps.
Helps. It definitely does help. Yes.
Well, Nick, what we might do for the second quarter, we haven't had a chance to prep for this. Well, I'm going to get you to call some of the players as well, if you're up for that. Oh, come on, mate. You're a VAFA tragic. We know you're. If you can do the podcast show.
I can tell you, the play-by-play would be tragic as well, mate.
But, yeah, look, an interesting contest. I mean, the conditions... This would almost be perfect playing conditions.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah,
it is absolutely perfect playing conditions. What I'm interested to see, especially from our point of view, is I think a lot of the ovals and grounds that we play on back in Vic are not this big, and our girls won't be used to the sheer size of it. So, as the game progresses and as it opens up, to see how they keep up with the playing.
I think that if you guys start to use some of that width, I think that run that you guys have through your team could definitely open this game up very, very, very well.
Weather in Adelaide during the week, it was overcast, it was cold, it was wet, and I'm thinking, great, just the typical Victorian weather. They're going to be right at home. And I turned up to the Oval today, and there's no sign of it. It's a excellent arena. I mean, it's definitely SANFL class, and they've played some AFL pre-season games here as well.
Yeah, they play AFLW games here too.
Yes.
Yep. In the first season they played them. A lot of them actually got moved to Norwood in the end.
I can remember a great goal from about 55 out. Erin Phillips
against
Carlton.
She did. Yes. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what we got to break. Jess, your journey. You seem to play footy not almost all through the year, but there's the SANFL and the VFL and at this level as well. Yeah. What's been your football journey in recent times?
I actually started in London.
As you do.
Yeah. I've come from Gaelic, so I went over to London to play Gaelic football. Love it. Still love it. And then so my friends were there and they're like, just play. I was like, I'm not playing a contact sport. Played it, loved it. You got 15 steps to run with the ball, so what can you do? And then I came home and did some of that talent search because it was the first year for that and I had just come home. So I did a trial, and then at that stage there was the state team. I just made the state team. And then I guess settled on from that. So yeah, I haven't actually had a break for nearly 2 years now.
Wow.
I've gone from playing a small pre-season to then playing to then a small, and I say small, it was like 3 weeks pre-season. So.
Well, I guess if you're playing, you can't have much of a pre-season, and that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Because players like to play rather than train for much.
100%. You don't want to be doing these runs around the ovals. Instead, you actually want to be playing and chasing a ball. So.
And I mean, we see it. I watch a lot of the webcasts that they do with the statewide super.
Yeah, that's very well done.
The trajectory of the competition from where it started, and the VFA starting 2 years ago. Where's it going to be in 5 years' time?
I am so jealous of the younger kids, younger than me. Like the journey for them now and things that are set up in place for them to be in a pathway to develop their skills and be in a great environment is, it's phenomenal. And I don't even know where we'll be in 3 years. So, 5 years. Yeah, hopefully a lot more is coming through and we can get more funding through for things and we just keep building. You know, it's a great experience for everybody else that's involved.
And Nick Armistead, you would have seen something similar for the VFA? For the VAFA?
Oh, well, the uptake over the past 2 years. I mean, when we originally announced it in October a couple of years ago, we anticipated 10 teams in the first season, and all the clubs obviously got on board, and we happened to have 40, which was just phenomenal. And I think those clubs who didn't quite get up and those who hadn't thought about women's football just yet saw the cultural changes that came to these other clubs and saw how good it was for the entire community as a whole. Everyone got on board. So as I said earlier, we've got 63. We're probably going to add another 10 to 15 next year. It'll just be interesting to see over the coming years when that does plateau.
Correct, yeah. That's what you need to be careful of. And I think footy in general and for the women's football, I think that's something that they probably need to have a look at. You know, how far do you keep taking it and how many teams do you keep adding before then? You need to build your level of experience. So, yeah, I think that'll be something that needs to be discussed. But at the moment, it's fantastic.
One of the issues we have, one of the issues we have, I guess, is ground availability and councils and trying to get more. So you understand why the AFL trials all these things on like rectangular grounds and things like that, because we do have the soccer fields and those, but the facilities would need to be built to so all these teams can actually absolutely so all these teams can actually get out there. Because we're finding that a lot of our teams are training on parks throughout the week because the allotted hours you've got on certain grounds and things like that. So some of our clubs have 8 teams, 9 teams, including women's.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic for the club. It's just a matter of
sharing the grounds and sharing the facilities.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because over history, the VAFA has been collegiate. old boys, old scholars, that sort of thing from mainly, I guess, private schools or grammar schools. That would be a huge culture shift to bring in women's teams.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I mean, if you look at our top Premier sections, I think in William Buck Premier, 8 or 9 of the teams are old boys clubs, and we've got a couple of district clubs in those top couple of sections, but they get the numbers through the school, which then either go on to play VFL, AFL, or they come back to play for their old boys club because of that tight-knit culture. But they've got a lot of sister schools and stuff which they've been able to rely upon and call upon to get a women's team up.
Second quarter underway. The VAFA leads by 4 points. They're going to the right of your screen now to the War Memorial Gate end here at ALDI Arena, formerly the Theberton Oval. We are 3-4 kilometres to the west of Adelaide on the flight path. You might see a few planes fly overhead as the day progresses. Victorians will get the first clearance through a couple of pairs of hands. South Australia trying to do some clearing work through Franklin. Although the big forward, well done. Best forward movement I've seen from the Victorians thus far, and on the end of that, it is their goal scorer in Caitlin Greisner.
Now, what Greiser? What amazes me is someone who hasn't played football, just her feel for the game and being able to duke these out on the lead and that sort of thing. She's just a genuine natural.
Probably about 30 metres out, slightest of angles. Heads for the left, it hits the post. Couldn't hit it if you aimed for it. And that is another behind. 1 goal 5 for the Victoria, South Australia. 1 opportunity, 1 goal. Clearing kick again. They love to bring it in front of the crowd, the South Aussies. Victoria probably awake to that, you'd think by now. If we are, they would be. And again, some weight of numbers just pushing it forward, although a quick kick in the pack by South Australia clears it outside of forward 50. Race for the footy. I think that was Kavoris at ground level trying to pick it up for South Australia, and at ground level, Danny Colotti, one of the Bears from Kew.
Correct. Now, she's also a former soccer player down in Perth, she's come over just to start her footballing journey and is one of the best players in William Buck Premier.
Well, South Australia, a rare clearance you would have to say, and again now it's their turn to just tap it forward and get some distance. Hand pass comes out to Kaylee Pearson. Kick down the members' wing, nice wing.
It's a great mark.
In the end, in a bit of a contested Lamy head from Old Carey Grammar. Gets it across now to teammate. This is Laura Robertson sending it forward. Only as far there as South Australia. Into space. This is setting it up for Reynolds. Does a beautiful turn. I wish I could turn that well.
She is also a former soccer player, so clearly knows how to use her feet well.
How to kick that ball around. But Victoria on the rebound, get it to Rebecca Watson. Just the attacking side centre wing. Watson towards the 50-metre. Has the target and takes the mark. Sarah Cameron, she's been a target, she's been good. She kicks into...
She knows who she wants to kick to too.
Ground level. Penny Brown trying to get it clear again. The umpire, you can see, put the whistle to the mouth, just put it away for a quick moment. But that wasn't coming back.
I would argue the game plan, if it gets to the 50-metre arc, kick to Grise at this stage.
I would be like that for you, sure. Put it up high.
Kick clearing chance for Victorian. Big jump there by McLinden, couldn't bring it in. The ruckman doing a lot of good work at ground level. Clearing kick by the Crow Eaters out towards the boundary. Picked up nicely by Kavoris.
Yeah, Kavoris is actually a former runner, and she's only come down this year. Played a few games for the Sandfall for the Panthers. She's doing quite well.
I'll have to go back. I'll have to get my computer up and running and have a look. But I know she led the stats in something during the course of this. She had one amazing game.
I think it was her first game.
Yeah,
could have been
could have been tackles.
Yeah,
I reckon
could have
in one
been.
of the games. Made a name for herself very early days.
She did, yeah.
Because it's a strange season, the statewide Super League. It's February to April.
We play in the summer. I'm not going to lie, I love it.
Ruby Grounds with the clearance. Victoria looking for their first goal down the southern end. Trying to get a free kick here. South Australia do get the hand pass away. Well done by Saunders. Kicks it in the direction of Walker Murphy. Michaela, another former Panther.
Matt McDonald started fantastically.
She's doing so well. Oh, there we go.
And they're starting to find targets, and that's one of them, Sarah Cameron.
She's going to have a go.
Nat McDonald off half-back to start this game has been nearly best on ground for me.
Yep. Gets the
she's
ball.
She's done a few of those runs.
Off.
She's doing really well. Really timing that ball well.
So again, weight of possession and position in favour of Victoria, but they're starting to get the marks inside 50, starting to get the better percentage shots on goal. This is going to go towards the line where it's a South Aussie mark. Truly, truly the last line of defence.
Oh, Sarah.
And it was intended for Caitlin Teague. Sarah Cameron knew it was coming, and the Saints, do we call them Scob?
Scob Saints. So they're
St.
the
Kevin's
women's
Old
team
Boys?
for St. Kevin's Old Boys, correct. And they've taken the name of the Now, she's missed 2. She won't want to be missing 3 in a row here. Camo.
Well, this one, distance shouldn't be an issue. She stabs at it, put it to a pass to the top of the goal scoring line. So there was a kick out of nowhere. I don't even know who kicked that. And it bounced. So they don't, even the umpires don't have to work that out. It's just a throw in. No last touch rule here, which we see in the Sandful. And I think the statewide league has it too, from memory, Jess.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the rule here in this competition. If so, that should have been a free kick out by the South Aussies.
Jamie.
The VAFA have set up a wall.
They have. They're setting up very well.
Beck.
They needs to have one more lock kick over that.
Looking for Rebecca Watson. Mazanod, and they're called the Noddies?
The Nodders.
Nodders.
The Nodders. Now, she won the flag last year with Mazanod. Her and her 2 sisters are down there. They form a formidable trio.
And they're enjoying their afternoon here in Adelaide. Long weekend state footy. Victoria, South Australia, and the Vics go in again through Robertson.
GT's finding a lot of that ball in that defence. She's a very experienced player. Yeah, she's very, very solid back there.
Georgia Taylor, the vice-captain, the clearing kick. May not have relieved the pressure for that long. Hot footy, 40 metres out. Who can get it? Might be South Australia. Again, they're getting it, Jess, but they're not. There's no time to look up. And again, that McDonald gets the hand pass away. Another high kick. Is there another target? Yes, there is.
Oh, she's got it.
She's got it.
Margaret Gleeson, another Saint from Scob.
Now, she took the season off to go up and live in Bondi last year, but she's had a couple of years before that at Scob. She's back this year and obviously found herself in some pretty good form.
40 metres out, you think the length of the range. She goes with the pass to the pocket. Beautiful lead, just wrong team. South Australia have got it, they'll get the clearing, and they're just going to head for that boundary, get a bit of space and a bit of clearance. Working it back. This is Danny Stewart kicking it down the wing. All Victoria. I'm trying to remember if South Australia has had an inside 50 this quarter.
We haven't. I don't think we've actually got it down to our end yet.
But still, no goals yet this quarter for the Big V, so you're setting up well defensively.
Yeah, very lucky, to be honest, that the margin's only increased by a couple of points, because they're starting to find
a lot of
targets.
Pressure, they are.
Beck's really starting to heat up here. And she's got it. Oh.
Just the 2 behind scored, 7 minutes gone. They'll be looking forward to the half-time break because it's been fully full on. A nice grab.
Great grab.
Alan Fozer from Morphy Parks.
Yes.
They were, of course, the Space Quake Sports Game of the Week last week. You can watch Women's Footy, Adelaide Footy League every Sunday afternoon. Fraser Fife, a baseball calling colleague of mine, takes all the action.
He does very well. He's very good at his
I don't
job.
know where he is today. Long weekend, he takes it off. I don't know. But, yeah, so Morphy Parks Adelaide Junior, the Pride game last week.
They did, yes, my old club.
Your old club, that's...
Unfortunately, didn't take the win on the day, though.
She's tried to get away with one there. Come on, got to go back over the mark, guys. Come on. No funny buggers.
Yeah, I think that's the same interpretation wherever you go. And umpires, I tend to find umpires like to just show that they're in charge by just making sure that little technical rule is always enforced. I do Oz kickers occasionally at Adelaide Oval, and the umpires do exactly the same thing all the way through to senior level. South Australia trying to get it. This is Tash Fader trying to get it to Grace, and we're going to get a VAFA free.
It's Nat again.
She has been formidable.
She's on fire.
They don't have rebound 50s because SA haven't got that far. But she has repelled SA about 6 times this quarter.
She seems to be pushing up and pushing back. She's doing a lot of running.
Well, they might as well shorten the oval by about 60 metres because it's just not going down the other end. In the end, some good poise shown there on the pressure by Captain Parker for the South Aussies. Now can they find some space?
Just that one or two handball that's not reaching our targets and we'd be off, but unfortunately we're making those little errors.
You could see the setup, couldn't you, Jess? Yeah. That they had them lined up to go.
They've done it 3 times. I just want them to go.
You can see Jess getting a bit itchy over here in the commentary box.
Yeah, she's bought the boots just in case.
Oh, I wish.
Kick inside 50 for Victoria again. And you can see some players going to ground, some keeping their feet. I'm interested to know what the leg rule is here. You know, the one where if you go low and you hit the legs,
I think
it's sliding.
Sliding or even just tackling of the legs. It's a free.
Again, another clear tap. Unfortunately, waiting there was Packer, so she's worked out the Victorian ruckman.
All the time in the world.
All the time.
And again, they just there we go. South Australia now. Oh, that's a handball to yourself by Macalino. But not long before.
There we go, GT. Let's hope she can settle it down for us now.
It's a chance here. There's a big fat side on the grandstand side where there's no one there for Maidment to try and kick it into. She is struggling a bit at the moment because Victoria there, Sasha Long, leading the navy blue charge. But this is about as far.
Yeah, I think she probably should put that on her boot.
But here's a chance. SA might even go into attack here. They can get the kick away, which they do. Macalino looking out there for
Hopefully
Chantel
Dancing Feet here can do something for us.
She did well to get around. Her opponent was not to be beaten this time in pounds. But SA do get that kick away.
And there she is again.
Nat McDonald, she's got that little tinge to the hair, makes her stand out.
She does, as anyone, Nat McDonald, and she's picked up another disposal there.
Kick forward. It's in that centre square. Little soccer tip forward, intelligent by the Victorians. Now looking for the hand pass to go forward. Kick inside 50, right along that 50-metre arc. SA have the numbers, but it might be Victoria who get there first. Battling beautifully for it is Gleeson, but just couldn't beat them all in the end.
So she gets rid of it though.
Maidment is in a world of trouble.
Fantastic tackle by Kat O'Brien.
Yes, Maidment was one of those premier players for South Adelaide in the Sandful competition earlier this year. Kick forward, almost the grab, it spills. This is Barnett. Kicking forward, might be an injured Victorian player getting a little slow to get.
A bit winded in there.
Looks like Sasha Long just coming off for
all the action 50 metres out. It spills to Brown towards the front of the square. Anyone's ball, bounce would have determined it could get the kick away, and she does!
She did.
Beck Watson, she's been on fire since about halfway through the first quarter. It's good to see her finally get some reward for effort there.
I think that's the word, Nick. It has been all Victoria. Let's be honest, no bias into that. It has been all Victoria the second quarter. It's taken them 12 minutes. They finally got a goal, and they deserve just their 11-point lead.
They do, definitely. The pressure that they keep pushing on and attack is incredible.
But you go back to when South A were trying to get out of defensive 50. It was that effort from Kat O'Brien down here on the near wing.
Just not stopping.
Free. Yeah, she's beautiful defensively.
And that's what wins your games. Just don't give up.
Just keep moving forward is a slogan I think applies very well to this competition. As the Victorian clearance marked by the captain. Through a couple of sets of hands. In the end, Kavoris' kick didn't go that far. We're pretty much back in the place I like to call the T-saucer, aka the centre circle, and the umpires will go again with the stoppage. The AFA 2-5-17, they've added 1 goal 2 this quarter to their 1 goal 3 in the first.
Hands.
Good forward work by the VAFA.
Bad bounce.
It's in the corridor. That opens up opportunities if it spills free. Again, that was Gleeson trying to kick while tackled. Now the pressure all on South Australia. Forces the stoppage at 15 out right in front of the southwest goals here. You can see the War Memorial gates there in the background. From the back, Gleeson with the tap. SA a quick responding kick looking in the direction of Danny Stewart. Pounds is there. It does spill though.
You got the numbers here.
Here comes Kavoris into space. One-on-one contest.
doing
McDonald's been brilliant this quarter, and she was brilliant again.
Well done.
She beat 2 on that occasion. Didn't really get the clearance, but she got a little bit of field position. She used up the time for the cavalry to arrive. That's a win.
She did, yeah.
No, excellent player. She's on the Essendon VFL list back home. Obviously a few games for Marcelin this year, but she's on fire at the moment.
She is. She's judging that ball so well. When to pick it up and when not to. It's fantastic.
Good work by Saunders to get the kick away towards that boundary line where it'll be a throw-in on the city wing, the skyline just in the background here. Cabaret, about 5-10 minutes, you'll be right in the middle of Adelaide. Very historic ground, this one, the ALDI Arena at Theberton. Used to be home of the West Torrens Eagles, as we've got a free moppy for a tripping or that sliding. Looks like a little bit of damage to just below the knee.
She's a bit ginger.
See how she goes kicking the football. Not a bad kick. And
they've paid it. Oh, free kick. Free kick.
Yeah.
So Victoria almost looking to slow it down a bit. So did we work out, was it 20-minute quarters?
Yeah, 20-minute quarters.
Glad we got that worked out.
Yeah, I was watching.
So now, good work here. That was Gleeson.
Oh, here we go. Camo will want a goal here.
Camo hands it off.
She does. Oh, she's going to get it back.
Camo.
Oh.
Come on, Camo.
The teamwork in the end undone. Umpire says play on, no free. Hot footy.
Pick this up. Oh.
40 metres out. Picked up by Farrier. In the end, I'm going to get that name. Greaser.
Griser. You get it.
By the fourth quarter,
we've got 2 quarters to go. You'll be fine.
By the fourth quarter, it'll be mastered. I'll never use it again in my life. Ball up, 20 metres out. SA would like to keep this score, not allow any more goals. But again, it's a bouncing ball in the goal square. This is where they scored the last one. But in the end, it is Kavoris with the clearing kick.
You almost wanted to run with that a little bit further.
Look at all the blue. Oh. Look at the bump. Oh, my. Too hard. Too high, I'm afraid.
Did she get the girl?
She's got her in the face there.
Now, this is the beauty of Spacequake Sports, Nick.
We can actually watch the replay.
They do awesome replays. Let's have a look at this one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's high. Yep, it's definitely a...
Go, Tesso!
I think it is one of those that started low and then just went up.
Well, she's up and she's walking.
Always a good sign. So Imogen Barnett from...
Old Trinity.
OTGs.
I think the right intention was there, but...
Yeah, just got her a bit high, that's all. She looks like she's okay, which is what we want to see.
So with the free... Oh, what a pack mark! Taylor Padfield, the vice-captain. The Sheagle from Marcelin. Kicks to the top of the screen. Another one!
She knows she wants it.
There's your girl, Jess.
She is. She's doing me proud. Just hopefully go straight through.
Just for Nick's benefit, I asked Jess pre-game who to watch out for. Sarah Cameron was right on the list, and she is proving to be the case.
Well, I reckon Jess is right on the money and proved her expertise there.
20 metres out, straight in front. This for the third goal.
Here we go. Right. Oh, come on, Camo. Give us a little cheer.
Right down King William Street, as we call it here.
A little bit more than that, Camo.
So now...
Nah, she's
smiling. That. She definitely does.
She deserved that. A few shots on goal. She had 3 shots on goals for 2 points, so it's good to see her get one through.
She actually got to play for Collingwood against Hawthorn last week. She played in the back line. Different position for her. Absolutely. She was back there with me, and she did a really good job. Yeah, she held her own. She's fantastic.
How's her accountability back there?
Yeah, I was there, and she probably wasn't going to leave her play.
I was going to say, let's be honest, as a forward going back, they're really not accountable.
I just said, like, you play forward, you know what they're like. They're sneaky.
South Australia with a much needed clearance through Pearson. Lobs 55 metres out. It is Kiana Lee battling for it for the Crow Eaters, but Victoria look to be up to it. Here's a good hand pass out to Batman. Is it Batman or Batman? I know it's Victoria, and you have Batman as...
Batman.
Batman, Zagantinos.
Zagantinos, okie dokie. As we've got a ball up 55 metres out. About 90 seconds left in this contest, 17-point margin. Momentum into half-time is always so important, and you'd have to say Victorians have it.
They do. Let's hope for like the last minute and a half, they can South Australia can do something with it.
Reynolds, I think that's their first inside 50 for the quarter. and it's spilling by the boundary line. So about a minute for South Australia to do something just to narrow the margin, 17 points at the moment. If they have achieved something, SA have gold. When the VAFA played the Goldfields last year, they held the Goldfields scoreless in the first half. So
we did. No, it was quite a good day out of Ballarat.
Eureka Stadium, I think you guys played it at from memory.
Yes, correct.
So
that was a great opportunity for the girls, especially
Absolutely.
in their first foray into representative football. And what better ground than over here at Theberton. Now, I have been told it's Theberton, not for Barton.
You're very good.
It is Theberton,
You could have a pie floater with that accent. As we kick inside 50, can SA get a goal? 30 seconds left in the half. Look at all the blue jumpers. It does spill loose. It's in front of the scoreboard. And in the end, first there was Victoria, where they've been first pretty much everywhere. That's half time. You're watching the Australian Amateur Football Council Championship Match. Victoria 3-5-23, South Australia 1 straight 6. We'll take a break in about a minute. Before we do, any quick summary thoughts on the first half, Nick?
Well, to be, 17 points up, obviously the Big V had the majority of the play, and probably South Australia, to your credit, defensively, you've set up pretty well. You've stopped us going forward, and we've missed a few opportunities. So I think South Australia, from your point of view, Jess, you wouldn't be too disappointed with the scoreline given the dominance in possession.
No, not at all. I think, yeah, you're right, the back line is setting up really well. We just need to get it past that halfway mark, well, a bit before that actually, to then find some play into our forward 50, but the way that the girls are attacking in the Big V, they're definitely putting it to us, that's for sure.
Loving the way that Nat McDonald from Marcelin is going about things, and obviously Sarah Cameron, and Beck Watson's also
You've got
up
a very
forward
few
as well.
shining stars in that little team. But it's good, I think they're playing together. You're coming out of that midfield into your forward line, it looks strong, and they're hitting their targets, and you can't ask for much more than that.
Well, it is half-time. You're with VFA Tragic, Nick Armistead, Collingwood, North Adelaide player Jess Edwards, and your host Phil Hurd. And this is half-time. We'll take a break on Space Quake Sports. Be back with the second half shortly.
Love it.
It's actually a really good game.
Installed in the boot. Sorry, Billy. Oh, chop. One other. Mate, I'm off you, Greg. Just off back to Victoria.
Quality, just forgot to calculate for that 4 point. Got to sort of think back a bit what I found. Oh, he's got it. Oh. I got that touch. Good mark, like the quality grab. I'd say I'd give that like a 7 or 4. It's up there.
Probably, yeah.
Oh! Good job, Fletcher. We're actually put my binoculars away.
Fuck, I don't know.
Damn. Oh, people let him wait. Quality special. Right, that would have been in the back. Nah, that would have been.
Hey, boys. Touch the ball.
Yeah, that's good. You could do it safe. Quality.
Yeah. The whole side. Go. Go.
Quality. Coming up. Oh, no. Oh, bad luck, Will. Good snap around. Oh, that coffee and
About there where you ran around a bloke in the mud, hockey.
yeah, quality over quantity. Noah Duffy with the mark of the century.
And welcome back, everyone. A glorious Saturday afternoon here in Adelaide, the South Australian capital. You're looking at the ALDI Arena, more popularly known as the Theberton Oval, nicknamed the Pug Hole from back in the day. An oval used, as I give my colleague here, Nick Armistead, a bit of a history lesson.
Yeah, what's the Pug Hole?
The Pug Hole. Well, there's a brickwork, this used to be an old brickwork facility just across the road, and this was the dumping ground for everything from the brickworks, pretty much. Made it into an oval. Was home of West Torrens in the Sandful days until they moved to Footy Park and eventually merged with Woodville. And yeah, it's an oval, Nick, that's been used for a lot of different. I remember a rock concert here in the 80s, Australian made, they had here on New Year's Day. It's hosted Wally Lewis and Rugby League, Rugby Union, Soccer, American Football, and for the last 10 years has been the HQ for the Adelaide Football League, the SA Amateurs.
Well, it's a beautiful ground, and I know speaking to a couple of the Amateurs admin prior to the game, they weren't too happy with how the surface is looking at the moment, because they were saying you had about 6 weeks without rain earlier this season, but I've come here and this is just about as good as any ground going around, I would have thought.
I certainly wish we had this surface. I used to be involved with the gridiron when it was here back in the late 80s, and surface wasn't this good then, and they've replaced the light towers, I should add, since then. Not that we should see them in action. But yeah, it's a very useful sporting facility here at the Thebarton Oval. I mean, you've got the beautiful trees around, very easy to get to. The main road, Adelaide north-south, just goes past the side. A fair bit of parking around, so a good spot to have some footy. The game itself, the VAFA 3-5-23 South Australia, the Adelaide Football League Women's Comp 1/6. Is that you think, a reflective score of the domination that we've seen from the Victorians?
Well, I think, given how much of the possession the Victorians have had, I think maybe South Australia have done well to keep us to just 3 goals. A few missed opportunities from the Vics there, but to get those late couple of goals in that second quarter, very much deserved. So, look, as well as the Vics have been playing, South Australia's defence has been just as good.
Yeah, it's been played mostly in one half of the field. No real breeze to speak of. The flags that are here pretty limp down the poles, so no real advantage going either ways. I think our commentator for the men's game, the great Tommy Javor, is brushing up the tonsils.
A little bit of a head nod there.
Giving a little bit of a... Tommy and I go back a bit. He's just lubricating himself to get ready for the big clash. He saves himself for the big games, Tommy.
Oh, he'll be next to one of the VAFA's best commentators as well,
That's
Andrew
it.
Leonard, so I can't wait to see the two boys
Andrew
side by
Leonard,
side.
Tommy Javor, and I'll just sit back and watch next door. So look, it's a wonderful afternoon. And look, talk us a little bit through the VAFA. It's a competition that Victoria in Melbourne does have a lot of suburban comps, but the VAFA is by far the largest.
Yes, correct. So we are the largest senior community competition in Victoria and in Australia. We've got 74 clubs. We've got 6 women's sections, senior women's sections, 7 senior men's sections, 6 under-19s and 5 thirds competitions. So we've got over 13,000 players. So I suppose when you think of it geographically, we've got 38 of the 41 Melbourne municipalities are covered. They've got clubs all throughout Melbourne.
And I mean, that's a lot of people to watch your podcast.
That is a lot of people to watch the old VAFA Tragies, and I'll tell you what, I don't think they're all tuning in. Looking at the numbers.
I've got to admit, when I found out it was only Tuesday that I was helping out here today, right, where do I find out some information? And yours was the first port of call, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
So everything I say I can blame on you pretty much as the SA girls take the field and the Victorians not too far away. And so the women's comp, what was the women's amateur football like 2 years ago before it sort of all came together?
Well, I suppose it's been a long time in the works, trying to get this up and going, trying to ensure that clubs were ready to be able to have a women's team. And like I said earlier, I mean, we expected 10 in the first year, and just the uptake from our clubs, they're doing all the work. It's the clubs and the players and the people involved there that have done all the heavy lifting and hard work. And so to have 63 in our second year, and potentially I would look at 75 for our third year, just goes to show just how fantastic our clubs and how hard-working our particular clubs are.
And I noticed the very first year that you had the competition, you had the representative side that went and played Eureka Stadium, we mentioned earlier. How important was it to introduce that representative program from day one?
Absolutely, it was imperative. I mean, the Big V's got such a privileged history. We're back to 1925 when we first played against you guys over at the MCG, but what we wanted to do, bringing the women into our competition, was afford them all the same opportunities that the men get, and that means that they get the honour and the privilege of wearing the Big V, just like the men do. And it's fantastic to see. Now we're in our second year and we're travelling over to South Australia. We couldn't be more excited. And the girls, there's 16 new girls in this team that didn't wear the Big V last year and have now all had that honour.
And for a lot of these girls, I mean, some of them will play VFL, some may even get AFLW, but for a lot of these girls, this is the biggest game of their career so far.
Correct, and we're talking about it throughout the week. I mean, there are a lot of these girls, as with men, are going to go through their careers and not win a premiership. That's what's going to happen. I mean, that's ultimately what you want, what you play for, to win a premiership with your club. But that may not happen, and so to get the chance, this is the next best thing.
Yeah.
To represent your state, basically, and to get the chance to win against a rival state is near. Oh, well, as far as I'm concerned, I get to barrack for someone.
Yeah,
so.
look, I mean, you and I are probably dinosaurs in the scope of loving state football. That, you know, at those senior levels is sort of dying. We haven't seen state of origin.
Yep.
State league level, the VFL doesn't do it anymore. Had the experience here in Adelaide of a Sandful waffle game being a curtain raiser to an AFL match, which I thought, no, that didn't sit right with me.
Yep.
But at this level, the pride is there. The teams are here and they're really putting in.
Absolutely, and you can tell by the crowd. I don't know if you can see the crowd on the cameras anyway, but you can tell by the crowd that's turned out for the women's game here today. It's fantastic.
Yep, and the good thing is, it's half of what's going to be a great doubleheader. Third quarter underway. You're with Nick Armstead and Phil Hurd, and this is the Australian Amateur Football Council Championship Games, Victoria and South Australia. And let's see if Victoria can extend their domination or South Australia can peg it back a bit. We mentioned that we're on the flight path here. As you'll hear a Qantas plane fly right overhead. They're going to get a great view in aisles D to F of the action.
I hope Qantas is sponsoring this game.
Well, we're giving the airlines enough plugs here today, so we're waiting for it to break free of them. Just while they're trying to get it clear and the umpires are really letting it go in the process, the travel, how was the team put together this week, getting here and heading home?
Well, yeah, obviously the women came over this morning. It was an early start, everyone up at 5:30, and it's only a 45-50 minute trip to South Australia, so it was nothing too arduous.
As Sasha Long gets the first kick of the third quarter, finds a teammate, brought down straight away by the South Aussie defence. Now it's a battle for the football. That target was Penny Brown, couldn't quite get the clearance. Spills freeze though. Here's a chance for Victoria. But in the end, South Australia will get the clearance. Here comes the kick into space. This usually suits South Australia. Kavoris has it. About to get tackled by
Great
Griza.
Shepherd.
Eventually gets out of trouble momentarily, but has started up. Again, a great fend off there by Chantel Reynolds. She's found a teammate in Grace Duffy.
And the South Australians have come out firing in the second half here.
You think if, for a contest's sake, SA have to get the next goal, if Victoria can extend the lead, it starts to get too far at this level. The Victorian defence is up to scratch. Kat O'Brien kicks it over the pack in the middle. Again, a bouncing ball in space. Very quick pick up in hands there by Georgia Taylor. Almost too quick for Tess Morecambe and almost too quick for me. And a little bit of, did you just see that little bit of feeling there between Margaret Gleeson and Tess Morecambe?
Don't mind saying that.
Exactly right. This is interstate footy.
Absolutely.
As we kick it out towards the city wing. A little tap, a little kick. Lots of blue jerseys there, but in the end, it is
Beck
Colby
Watson's
Franklin.
gone to ground there. And
they've gone to ground, and umpire will say my footy. The weather, if you see the background, looks ominous, but that's the weather that's passed above us and comes from the west, is looking pretty blue at the moment. I'd be shocked if we had any rain for the rest of the day. Victoria trying to move it forward and putting a lot of pressure on Annie Burns here, who almost brings up an inside 50 for the Victorians. In fact, there's a free kick.
Penny Brown.
And Penny Brown looks for the captain in Ruby Grounds. Couldn't bring it in. Car 52 metres out, scramble in short. So, no change to our half-time score at the moment. The VAFA 3-5-23. South Aussies 1 straight 6. Pretty glad at this point that shot was a goal, not a behind. This makes the score look a little bit better. Danica Lutti tries to go through. She goes again. Great second effort, deserves a free, but no infraction was given, so you don't get one.
Danica Lutti earlier this week and late last week came in with an injury clouder. She had a sore calf, but good to see that she's got up, because she's racking up disposals at the moment for the VICs.
Is indeed. Laura Robertson trying to get it clear initially. Umpires found a free. Will go the way of SA. This is where they're usually best, clearing off half back if they can move it quickly, if they can find some space. They go for a rare occasion on the outer side, and they do find an open space. This is Helen Maidman, caught holding the ball earlier, gets the hand pass away. Here's this quick inside 50. This is where the bounce comes into play. Meeting it hard. There was Taylor McKay, who is the sole South Australian goal scorer thus far. She'll back up and do the rock work and get the tap. Only as far as though as head spills out.
Good
to that name I cannot.
Chris Gergel.
Chris Gergel, I'm going to have to write it down. Chris Gergel, thank you, mate.
Now, I had the same issue at the women's best and fairest night last year, so I had to confirm with the lady herself.
Back inside 50 for SA. Victoria trying to get it out. Hand pass in error though, but I'll tell you what. Pressure. The eyes must have lit up, trying to pick up the SA player. The eyes must have lit up for Walker Murphy, Michaela, who's just a young lass. She kicked 4 goals on debut for South Adelaide as a 16-year-old or something ridiculous. And, I got a footy, and all of a sudden she's a Victorian sandwich. So SA with the ball, 50 metres out, going again. There's a mark off the back, not paid. I think it was fair to say there was a touch in front. Kiana Lee tried to sell it. And I think the good news with the South Aussies at this stage, they are a young team. I'm not sure the ages of Victorian squad, but there's a young team, which means, you know, some of these talented girls are going to be doing this for some time to come. And this will be a wonderful experience builder for them. Yeah, exactly. It's almost something you don't get at the men's level, and you know the opportunities when you're young. Jessica was saying it earlier. Jess Edwards, that she wished she was 5-10 years younger to pick it all up. So boundary thrown right in front of the effects mic and our camera crew. Boundary umpire takes a big breath and goes woof.
God, that's a good throw in.
Beautiful thrown right to the back. Kutsner picks that up. Kavora picks it up, and I think she had a moment there. Well, let's just say...
It's worked out.
I mean, in modern day football, you can never tell, can you?
It's worked out for her. She's all right. She's running straight off. She needs a breather. Needs to regain her composure after that.
I think it was having I mean, that was a lot of open space. So SA trying to handball their way inside 50, only as far as O'Brien. She's been stellar as a defender this afternoon. Goes to the, used to say the scoreboard wing, because the scoreboard used to sit, the old scoreboard used to sit right on centre wing. Of course, they replaced it with a brilliant electronic scoreboard. And which shows Victoria 3-5-23, SA 1 straight 6.
Yeah, he got here this morning and complimented the scoreboard, and then SA replied with, "You want us to show us the 2016 men's game on the big screen?" And
oh, that was nice.
Nicely. Yeah.
Of course, we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the coverage. Of course, this is the first meeting at the women's level. The men have been going at it since 1925. And look, Victoria have dominated, as they often do at interstate level, but SA's had their moments, and one of them was 2016. Victoria trying to have a moment here, win their first game at women's level in South Australia. First time they've played in South Australia.
So 1 from 1 would be nice.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to watch it all and see history unfolding in front of our very eyes as Annie Burns gets the kick away. But there's that wall. Victoria had it done beautifully in the second quarter, and now we're playing kick to kick, although there's a push out, and this will be a Victorian shot.
Danny Kalorti.
She's
on fire in this second half at the moment.
From the Q Bears, which would be one of your rare... Are they
district club.
District clubs?
Correct, they are a district club.
From 45 out, you think the distance would be a challenge. It was. Oh, the defender attacked the ball, left one loose, kick over the top by the Vics. It's in the goal square. South Australia should clear. Handball missed. Here's an opportunity. Working at it very hard was Sasha Long, but in the end, too much red on that occasion as it heads towards that boundary line. Brown goes in to get it again. Don't want to concede the throw-in, but they will eventually. 8 minutes gone. Third quarter.
It's certainly gone up a notch here to start this third quarter.
8 minutes gone. No addition to the half-time score. SA will work it out clearly here. This is Ellen Froza into some space. When they pick it up and they go, this is when SA look at their best. Even got a clean bounce. She's run too far, surely. Umpire says, yes, you did, and don't call me surely. It's going to be Victorian ball. Just you get so excited and it all just fades away.
Yes, you do.
Kick into the pocket. There's a hold. And this is going to be Jess's girl, Sarah Cameron, who has one of the 2 goals. Have you been keeping track of goal scorers? I have 2 of the Victorians, but I'm missing a 3rd.
Can't say I have, but I will work it out for you.
Okay. Got to give you some work to do, Nick.
Yeah, that's fair. That's what they say at the VAFA too.
That's it. Well, they say it's pretty easy. They've only kicked the 1, so I've got that down pat.
So the three goal kickers for the Big V so far: Beck Watson, Sarah Cameron, and Caitlin Grazer.
Beck Watson, that's right. The Mazenod
star.
That's it.
Second runner-up in the league best and fairest last year with 21 votes.
So intense battle happening there on the outer side. You can see the push, the shove, the handoff. They're trying to do it all. In the end, maybe a little too much.
Yeah, she has just tried a little bit too much there. And Nat McDonald racks up another one.
She does. We don't have a possession count here, but it would be substantial. That's an interesting question. First time these 2 have played. Would you be aware if there's any cup or best medals or?
There will certainly be a plaque of some description, because I know that the men play for a VAFA versus what used to be the SAFL plaque,
Yep.
but it has been named the AAFC Championship, so
Yes.
I assume that there will be something.
There'll be something, folks. Stick
one of the
around for
sides
it.
can take home.
Whatever there is, Spacequake Sports will bring it to you. So we're inside the Victorian 450, looking for their first score. A bit of an area with the kick. Here's Cameron at ground level for the Vics. And in the end, nothing doing. Georgia Taylor at ground level for the Crow Eaters. 35 metres out. Great work to get a kick away there. High and bounce. This could drop beautifully. It does.
Cameron.
That's
It's Camo. Look at her go too. Sarah Cameron for her second goal for the Vic. She's now kicked 2 goals too, and she is on fire.
Indeed. We have a thing, sometimes she's outscored the South Aussie. This is the key one, the kick that came in, then the bounce. And look at the positioning for the crazy bounce. Had the blue wall there to shepherd away the defenders. Just had to find a way to get it on the boot and get it straight.
Who needs a left boot when you can...
And that's not an easy kick to do because she
not.
was running left and had to kick right.
Away from the goals. And then look at the celebration too. Now, she disappointed us with the first one. She only gave it a little bit of a fist bump, but that's more of the Sarah Cameron that we know.
She didn't get much chance to do anything individual
the girls
because
just came in, didn't they?
Just swamped her. And of course, that's the beauty of this, because next week they're going to be going head-to-head again in their individual club comps. And I think it's good for every sport that I see in the league that I see that has representative games. It does great for the competition, that you do have rivals, that, you know, the veterans, the best players that do come together.
Well, it helps the players that usually play against each other each week. They get a respect for each other.
That's the word. Spot on, respect. And, I mean, at this level, I'm sure, you know, there's the pre-training, there's the big game, and I think a key thing will be what happens after. Another shot. So it's starting to make a big dent on that scoreboard. The Vic's 4-5-29, SA 1 straight 6. We found out how you got here. Early flight this morning.
Yep.
I love Tullamarine at that time of the morning. It's a great place in the world to be. How are you getting? You going home tonight?
No, we will stick around tonight. We've got an after party with the South Australians, and then we'll go do our own thing. And tomorrow afternoon we'll fly out.
You've done it well. I think that's the way to do it.
Well, we didn't want to go too early, depending on how the results pan out today, obviously.
Only so much partying you can do on a 737.
Correct. I don't know much about Hindley Street, but that's all I seem to be hearing.
Oh, you're hearing a bit of Hindley Street. Okay, it's probably changed since I used to run amok down there in the late 80s. But probably back to the footy at the moment. Doesn't take much to get us distracted, I should add. It's about 50 metres out. SA free kick. Looking here, trying to find Maidman, but beautiful steal by Rebecca Watson. She kicked a key goal for the Vic, sends this one inside 50. Again, the SA defence up to the task on this occasion. Draws the player, hand pass out. Some good hands here under Victorian pressure. Eventually a bouncing kick that will lob to Macalino. Her kick though, inbounds is trouble. Spills to McLinden, goes inside 50. Here's a chance, open player, hand pass, was it wide enough? My friend Grace, no, when the kick is not there.
That's all right, and you don't mind that, you don't mind the boundary throw in, lock it in, set up across half back, lock it in and hopefully give yourself another opportunity here.
Now they're the rules, last touch rule, that would be an SA ball, but the traditional way it's done, still a throw in. So yes, you almost the rugby kick for touch. The throw-in will lob right at the top of the goal square. Who's there? No one can get clear possession. Bouncing ball. I'll turn almost a kick. Oh, how was that done by Gleeson? That could have gone anywhere, Nick.
That could have. She's playing really well, Margaret Gleeson, across half forward so far today. And she was telling me prior to the game, she's not usually too au fait with the actual kicking in football. She's more of a lead up mark and give the hands off. But she hasn't disappointed by a flip so far today.
And speaking of that, a kick by the SAs, lob it right to the Victorians, kick inside 50, marked by SA. So it is a bit of a back and forth right now. That is Georgia Taylor directing some traffic. Found a teammate. Wonder if SA, now they have clear possession, will look to try and play some keepings off. Goes for that boundary line. Good mark by Burns, but out on the full, just a little bit on the wide side.
And obviously Imogen Barnett, that earlier bump in the second quarter where she was down for a little while, hasn't affected her too much. Out there playing well.
Yeah, so it's going to be 55 metres out. In the end, a little bit of a... Yeah, another ball up.
Now this is where we thought we might get the dominance, and it's been a pretty good duel so far today, but I just think Taylor Padfield has been the superior ruck so far.
And when you get first use to the footy, usually you do well on the scoreboard, or that kick on this occasion by Sasha Long from Beau Morris in the Premier White. So just to explain, there's the Premier, and that's the top grade. Then there's the Premier Blue and the Premier White, and that's sort of the next level down.
Correct. So we've got William Buck Premier, which is number one, two Premier Bs, Premier B Blue and Premier B White. Premier B Blue are for clubs who have two sides, the seniors and reserves, and the white is just for the one-team clubs.
Gotcha.
And then we've got the three divisions, 1 to 3.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Adelaide Footy League at the moment, nothing quite so elaborate. First division is the top grade, but you guys have obviously seen a bit of EPL and have gone with this Premier League thing. I mean, it sounds good. I play for William Buck Premier. That sounds pretty cool. McDonald, knew she'd be in the action somewhere. Picks it up, finds a teammate trying to stay in bounds. That was McLinden. Doing pretty well to keep it in bounds, the Victorians. They think if they can keep it alive, they're going to get something forward in the end of stoppage. 3.5 minutes left of the third quarter. If you've just joined us, Victoria kicked 1 goal, 3 in the first quarter, 2 goals, 2 in the second, 1 goal, 2 in the third. Slowly but surely putting this game on ice. Just a myriad of players. Another clearance
Danny
to Victoria.
Kalordi again.
Looking for O'Brien, just overcooked it a bit. O'Brien does well. Oh, she's
opening.
Houdini on that occasion.
She's got sit.
Had the player, couldn't quite take the mark. Working in hard there for South Aussies was Packer, the SA captain. Kick partially smothered. Now it's Victoria again.
Kalordi again.
Another inside 50 and another good finding of touch, I suspect. And Victoria will have a chance to set up right on their goal square.
Now I know we don't have the statistics with this, but Danny Kalordi would be up to nearly 10 touches already in the third quarter. She's playing out of her skin at the moment.
Yeah, slowly but surely, the size of this oval is shrinking in terms of...
Yep.
It was played up and down a fair bit in the first quarter, mostly Victoria's half. There's the mark.
Caitlin Greiser, she's played on, she's put it on the outside of the boot, and she's been called back. She's been called back. She was ready to explode then.
I'm going to let you're going to call this one, Nick.
Oh.
I told you we're going to get you to do some calling.
Oh, here we go, Caitlin Greiser. We call her the Grise. Well, we're going to now anyway. She's already kicked 1 today, and she's lining up for a second. Now, what do you reckon? Drop punt or on the outside of the boot here?
Well, in South Australia, we'd say check side.
Check side, yeah.
Which, aka for Victorians, is banana.
The old banana. And Greiser, she plays on, puts it on the outside of the rock, keeps it low, and Pulls it too much.
Should be filthy.
That was my first play-by-play and she missed it.
You're filthy.
That's all right, guys. She's a formidable target up forward at the moment. I'm assuming the Adelaide defenders be getting nervous any time the ball is going anywhere in her vicinity.
And it's starting to show. That was a wide kick. Now, Thebby's a wide oval, but Rhiannon Green's going to pick it up in front of the scoreboard. Chance to centre the ball. Who's the lead? Oh, through the hands of Greaser. Eventually, SA will get the clearance. Will it be momentarily? There's lots of blue out there. Here's one of them. Lamy Head sends it back from whence it came. And again, it spills. Lots of red jumpers about 20 metres out. Lots of Vic jumpers about 55 metres out. It comes now to Hannah Stewart. Her shot needs a touch by the line.
Oh, it's bounced in her favour.
And there's a scramble around that goalpost. It results in one behind.
All the attacking at the moment, all the attacking, we're just not quite getting the ultimate reward.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, SA are struggling to get it out of 50. I think they've been inside their 50 maybe twice, and I'm probably being generous in this third quarter, and they only had once or twice in the last quarter. It's all in Victoria's field. Kick on goal. Oh. Two players went up with a goalpost. Thankfully, they all get up. They're well padded, those goalposts, but they still don't move.
Yeah, that doesn't change when you cross the border. I'll give you the hot tip.
So that'll do it. We've got Victoria 4-10-34, South Australia 1 straight 6, and the longer this game goes, Nick, the more dominant Victoria look.
Yeah, another great quarter from the Big V there, and I mean, we're just setting up really well across half-back and across the midfield. When we're locking it inside 50, Richmond-esque at the moment.
You say setting up across half-back. Your half-backs are playing 55 metres out from goal.
I've tried to push it up a bit across the middle, I know. No, we're just dominating possession here. Nat McDonald across half-back, who is playing more up, obviously, on the wing at the moment. He's having a standout game. Sarah Cameron's providing a target up forward. Caitlin Greiser has been fantastic, and just her ability to pick the ball up at ground level is second to none. So this is a fantastic start by the Big V. It's by no means over. 14 scoring shots to 1 though. We would be very happy with the coaching staff. Let's just hope that we can close out the match.
Not a problem, mate. Thank you so much, Nick. We also thank Jess Edwards, who joined us for the first half to get us underway. We wish Jess all the best with her footballing endeavours. I think she'll be looking for somewhere to play this afternoon, having watched all that action. And of course, when we go to third quarter time here, chance maybe just to switch focus a little bit to what lies ahead. Now, who was the commentator that you're bringing to the match this afternoon?
Andrew Leonard. Lenny, so he's the other VAFA tragic.
Okay.
He's currently out there wearing pink doing the running for the women's.
Ah, right. So he'll be all fit and ready to go.
Absolutely.
So anything you should tell me about Andrew that I can utilise in the broadcast?
Well, Andrew Leonard, well, he's the hostess with the mostess.
So he's the host tragic.
Correct, he is.
That must make you the expert tragic.
I'm just there so he's got someone to speak to.
I can take a breath. Well, it is Andrew Leonard, it is Tommy Javor and myself, Phil Herden, to take you all the way through the big men's game that will be later on today. Interesting battle. The Victorians have always had the wood. I think they had 7 wins in a row before they met at Trevor Barker Oval 2 years ago. SA finally got a win. They're always rare on Victorian soil. And you sort of took it a bit out on Vic Country last year, thumped them by 82 points.
Absolutely we did. So there were a lot of disappointed people after the loss to Saffron, and obviously it's a great rival and it was a great victory for you guys. We were extremely disappointed with how the match turned out. So last year we found that, led by Stu Powell, who's our coach, and George Burberry, our captain, that the buy-in from the players was as good as it's ever been. And so we had one of the best teams that we've had in the last decade or two out against AFL Vic Country last year, and in 2 quarters we kicked about 19 goals to 1 across I think the first and the third, and record-breaking 82-point margin, which we were very happy with. But in saying that loss to the SAFA has always been in the back of the minds of the boys heading into this year. That was even the other night, George Burberry spoke of it. So very much switched on and very much looking forward to a contested game today.
As you can see, the crowd enjoying it around the ALDI Arena here at Theberton. A bit of colouring in, enjoying some of the local produce, just having a chat. All right, it is a hoodie day, but it's not uncomfortably cold, probably about 18, 19 degrees, which for mid-June is pretty nice. Was some rain earlier today. That's pretty much cleared, I think. It's clouding up a little bit behind. I think we're going to be right. And that game will be starting at 3 o'clock Adelaide time, 3:30 for those watching from across the border in Melbourne. And yeah, I know that 2016 team, one of the stats I found, I think you probably wrote it, only 4 players from that 2016 team back for the VIC, 7 new debutants. So that's probably about the right mix, I reckon. About 14 that gives you the crux of the side, or 14 or 15 from the previous year, but you've always got to be regenerating your state squad.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get players coming in that are coming back from the VFL level, or we've got players coming into the competition, and obviously injuries play a major part. You'd love to go in with the large majority of the team that dismantled AFL Vic Country last year, but it's great to get those, especially those 7 debutants. Just watching them receive their jumpers on Thursday night is enough to make you excited to get those sort of things. So it is, we've got a good mix. We've got young blokes, 20 years old, up to blokes. Matt Handler, who's playing his 15th Big V game today. Wow.
And I think from memory, it's mainly your Premier Division that the players come from. I think there's one from one of the lower grades. SA, a little bit more spread around from the research that I did in terms of the Div 1. A few from Div 2, a couple Div 3, and I think 2 from Div 5. I'm not sure how that worked out. There's a lad from Pulteney and from Lockleys, and their clubs are in Div 5.
What are they doing playing in Div 5 just with the mates?
And that's a lot of what it is at this level. And I cover a lot of sandful footy, and once they're out of AFL and the money at state league level is not huge, that draw of maybe a lesser commitment and playing with your mates, you know, especially if you're towards the tail end of your career, you've done all you've gone as far as you're going to go, you've done all the hard yards. Why not just play with your mates and enjoy footy for playing footy's sake?
Absolutely, totally agree. And we've got exactly the same sort of thing happening over in the Amos, because a lot of the boys that are playing against each other grew up for the school and playing with each other with the school. So they go off, they do their thing, they go try to make it as far as they can, but you often find that they'll come back and finish their careers in the VAFA.
All right, so we are almost set to go. That game will be at 3 o'clock, so I hope you stick around for that one. Right now, we've got a great one here. It is, well, Victoria. It is how far Victoria at the moment. They are 4-10, that's 34. South Australia are 1 straight 6. You are with Nick Armistead and Jess Edwards. Should make mention of the great work being done by Spacequake Sports, Dave Muggleton and his great camera work team, giving you all the colour and the action, and they are, well, go to their site, Spacequake Sports on Facebook. You'll find that they do an amazing array of local South Australian sport. They do the Adelaide Bite and the Australian Baseball League. They've done the Australian Gridiron League.
Just saw that the Crows picked up the Adelaide Bite.
The Adelaide Crows have picked up. I do the broadcasting for the Bite. I've got myself some new bosses with the Adelaide Crows. Yeah, that's, don't want to talk too much baseball, but yeah, they're going through a renaissance, expanding their league and getting some private ownership. And yes, the Crows is going to be, I think, a very successful mix for them. Just the professional and resources their sports marketing can bring, and as shown by the fact that the next day it's the front page story in the paper. And as you know, front page story of the paper you don't often get minor sport level. Final quarter underway here for the women. SA Victoria. It seems to be how far can SA get another score. They won't get the clearance. Good work there by Carlotta. Inside forward 50, Victoria go. Kicking
Zagantinos.
Zagantinos. Batman delivers. 16 seconds.
What a fantastic start and great stuff there through the middle from Ruby Grounds to get the clearance. And then Batman swoops on it. And that's what she does. She did it in the grand final for Marcelin last year. She kicked 2 really important goals in the second half just to ice the game for them against the Scob Saints, and she's done the same thing here today.
Yeah, you can see she plays for Marcelin. The She-Eagles, the Eagles become the She-Eagles because she swoops on that one for the crumbing goal. Makes it a 34-point footy game, and we are not done.
Great
Kick
stuff,
inside 50. Picked up there by Lamy Head between the centre square and the 50-metre arc. Who's the target? It spills to the back. Here's going to be a shot on goal. This is going to come down to the bounce. The Daniel Wells attempt by Grozer.
I suppose when you're 34 points ahead, why not have a crack?
And I love Space Quake Sports because you get to watch the replay for, maybe not on that occasion.
She's gone for a goal of the year contender there.
She has got, Daniel Wells made the, I don't know, what do you call it, the swan kick, the crane kick, that's what it is, from Karate Kid shot. Just not quite there on this occasion. But brings the entertainment, 35-point footy game. Vic 5-11, SA 1 straight, total of 6. Eventually, well done. Good defensive work there by Kavoris to kick it out of defence. This is where Vic have been there in numbers, and there they are again.
Laura Robertson, another Marcelin Sheagle. She was best on grounding last year's grand final. She just finds plenty of the ball.
Another defender perched on the half-forward flank for most of the contest. And that could be pushing the back. I think that's... no, it says play on in the end. Taylor McKay, the SA goal scorer, playing defender. If you're a forward, you're not getting much of a go at it if you're a forward for SA. Another rebound.
She's bombing along. Oh, they've paid it?
No, paid it to SA.
Yep, girl in front, woman in front.
As long as it's consistent. And there was a similar one to that earlier. Kick. Now in the centre square again, a lot of blue. McDonald, a key hand pass. Spills to Faria. She's tackled. Another one now for Reynolds. She's brought to ground. Here comes the Victorians. Michael Linden inside forward 50. So it's a little bit of kick to kick just at the moment. If anyone can get 2 kicks in a row, we'll see some ball movement. But not to be. Eventually, SA have possession through Taylor McKay at defensive edge of the centre square, looking for Farrier. Kick makes the distance. SA have got 2 possessions in a row. This is as far as they've got all quarter. Looking for the kick on the half-forward flank. Nice lead up. Nice mark. This is Kiana Lee. Sends it. That's an inside 50 entry for the South Australians, and it's going to be free. Someone abused the ref so he can get a 50-metre penalty. Not to be. It's Colby Franklin who finds the target.
Beautifully
sensational work. It's Shez Kavoris straight in front. Again, this will test the range 30 metres out. Straight in front. Goes with the kick. It's going to be critical. It's going to be there. The first inside 50 of the quarter, and SA get their second goal. The hometown crowd are on their feet.
And how well worked was that from centre wing?
Methodical.
It was, absolutely. That's the stuff you train on. The training drill side type stuff.
I mean, that showed no signs of a team that's, let's be honest, is getting belted is not quite correct, but you know, they're being dominated. Calm, poised, skillful, finished.
And they're playing out the game. They're not dropping their heads, nothing like that.
Four more of those and we could have a game.
No, let's not go too far.
So it is 29 points the margin. Let's see if this fires up the South Aussies at all. Or more likely, I think it's going to fire up the Victorians, the way these things usually work. Padfield, the vice-captain. One of the Sheagles from Marcelin.
Laura Robertson as well. Find herself at the bottom of the pack there, as she usually does.
So 22 people per squad, 4 on the bench, 18 on the field. A little bit of physical work off the ball there. Play on, we say. Hand pass looking there for the running green, missed the target. And it comes out now to Maidman. Can SA find some space? One-on-one contest. Be one of SA's better players, Reynolds. She's been in plenty of it, and if she gets the ball, she's so elusive.
She just doesn't have enough teammates that have gone with her so far today.
So Victoria with it on the outer side.
Ruby Grounds.
So the captain, will she get to hold up a cup or a shield or something at game's end? Stay tuned and we'll find out.
We've got 15 minutes.
But I think it's probably been the state games are always tricky to find competitive opponents. And you know, and the VAFA is the largest, you know, women's comp in the country. And I guess what they'd love to find is a league that they can play on a regular basis that's competitive. And I think SA have given them a pretty good game.
Absolutely, they have.
So it's with Reynolds on the half-forward flank. Kick across towards the scoreboard. kept in bounds well. That was Nankaro across to Alexandra Rock.
Oh.
Little. I love that women's footy. They go show no fear and go right at it. Definitely the case there.
And didn't Ruby bounce straight back up there?
Yeah. So who knows? Next year, will it be a return trip? Because, I mean, I have called I've been involved with every Sandford State game for about 11 years. And yeah, look, it's great to play at Adelaide Oval. It's great to play suburban grounds. But it's the road trips
that you want. Absolutely it is. Couple of nights away with your team.
Yeah.
Oh, what a grab!
Put that on the highlights tape. Sarah
She's taking
Cameron.
out her teammate.
She took out a whole bundle. Came through that pack like a steam train. Kick inside 50. In the end, no lead up, however, because she was the kicker, not in the pack where she needed to be. Georgia Taylor, kick across, finds the target. And now it's SA. They're off for a run on the outer side. Looking, but there's plenty of Victorians there. A bit of a... that was...
how you going?
That was O'Brien who went to give it don't argue, and SA said, okay, I won't argue.
You have it.
Exactly. We're back in the middle. Hot footy.
It's good to see Rhiannon Green, who was the one that was taken out there.
Back up and at it.
Yeah, back up and at it.
Yeah. Now the road trips, mate. I've had 2 trips to Perth, one to Melbourne. Played at Northport, the Port Melbourne ground, and that was awesome weekend. Helps if you do win, I will confess, but you still have a good trip.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
And I think the Victorian girls are going to go home with the points.
It's been a fantastic effort from the Big V girls.
Yeah.
Not knowing what to expect, obviously. It was a lot of the unknown coming in today for both teams. But what a performance.
And it's where coaches really earn their money as game day managers, because you're right, you don't know who the key players are going to be. Here's one of them, looking for a second goal, not to be on that occasion. It's marked by the captain, although that's a misdirected kick. Penny Brown, who's with the Hawthorn side from the Division 1.
Yeah, Hawthorn Amateur Football Club. Penny Brown, she was best on ground in last year's Development Division 4 Grand Final. She also won the competition Best and Fairest in a Canton. She played half the year basically with a broken arm. Half
the year with a broken arm. Well, she used both arms beautifully there. 30 out straight in front. Touched. I was just thinking as she started going, I should have got you to call the goal, but just as well we didn't, because it would have been another behind. So what do we get, mate? Makes it. We got a quick scoreboard here, 5-12-42, South Australia 2-12. 5-goal footy game. About halfway through the final quarter. This is Brown, who led the charge at the last. Has the Grize. Your call, Nick.
She's got it. She's looking to give it off. Don't pretend, Caitlin. Don't pretend like you're going to give this away.
It's what all good forwards do to satisfy the coach. You at least have to look like you're going to give it off.
This would take a fantastic kick to put this through. Look, you can see that angle on your screen. She's turned around, she's checked side, and she's just gone a bit like in the third quarter. She's gone a bit and put it out on the full.
No translation required. No effects mic required, maybe. 30-point game. About 9 minutes left. Going to probably put the hard word on you, Nick, because you know these Victorian girls pretty well.
Grab.
The highlights
Christine Nankaro.
The Victorian highlights tape is going to be chock-a-block by the end of this one.
Absolutely, it will be.
The people at VAFA Media are going to be very busy, aren't they, Nick?
They will be. They'll be enjoying every moment of it, though.
Picked up by Hannah Stewart. She zigs and zags. She's finding Penny Brown in space. Will it sit? She does. She
gets around her.
She's just got to straighten, but can't do so. Hand pass in hope. SA are there in numbers. Grubber kick. Now becomes a scramble. Oh, so close.
Penny now. She's kicked a few of those goals in the past 2 years.
Here's the mark.
Oh, what a mark by Christine Nankaro. Just served it up. She just read that beautifully.
Perfect positioning. She had to get the hands up. Might have hit her in the face otherwise. As it spills to Rebecca Watson. She had a great bouncing goal early. Umpire says play on. Still battling for it by the boundary line is Sasha Long. And in the end...
She's had a great game, Sasha Long. She's been in amongst everything.
Well, the task I was going to set you, Nick, was to give me your best on ground for the Victorian side. Ooh. So I'm giving you 9 minutes notice. So you can have a think about it.
I will need every one of those 9 minutes too.
And you have no stats to go off of, unless you want to leave me for a few minutes and go and find the stats, people.
No, we'll do it off what we've seen, what we've felt.
Alrighty.
Rhiannon.
So basically we've got 36 players on the field. We've got about 32 of them within 55 metres of the Victorian goals. One of those is Jessica Macalino, who tried to escape. Let's go for take two, yes. Strong run, good kick. SA avoid, but I don't know, she's a ball magnet. Every time SA clears, she says, I want it. That was Nat McDonald with another hand pass. She's got to be right up there, surely.
Absolutely, she is. She's had it on a string today. Taylor Padfield, another one who's been absolutely fantastic. Dominated the ruck duel, given us first use of the ball all day.
Maybe it's going to be the person who does this last-minute spectacular highlight that just
The
swings
last
it.
goal of the day.
Last big mark or great tackle or something of that nature. Ellen Fraser from the Morphy Park Roos had a big win over Adelaide Uni on the telecast game last week. She kicks into the man on the mark. Margaret Greason, I'm not sure if she was on the mark or just hit where that was pretty well. And in the end, a hard tackle, which thought there might have been a couple of afters there, but everyone gets up and resets. Just the Victorian side of the centre, grandstand wing. That was Rhiannon Green trying to get rid of it. SA with the long kick. Spills to true centre wing. Cat O'Brien.
Oh, she's got her.
She's, umpire says play on. Look, to be honest, they've been very consistent with that today.
They have, absolutely.
Certainly in AFL, that would probably be sudden death, you're gone. But they've just let it go, and fair enough. Right in front of the Vic bench. Cat O'Brien going back to go forward.
And Chris Gergel goes long down the line. Taylor Padfield is...
Robertson. Are you getting all this footy very close to the camera work at the moment? SA trying. Every time they go forward, they get something.
Nat McDonald again.
They just don't go forward.
All the time in the world.
Yeah.
Look at that beautiful kick, Rhiannon Green.
There's that highlight I was talking about, Nick, in your best and fairest votes.
Oh.
The top tragic 1, 2, 3 in the women's comp.
And Shaylee Taylor, she's looking for the Gries.
Rhiannon Green to Taylor. Two Gries. No, it's
Cameron.
Sarah Cameron. If she kicks this, that's 3 goals.
She's right. She has to be right up there. She has been electric today. Every time it's gone near, I mean, the 1-2 punch of Greiser and Cameron up forward has been fantastic to watch. It's been exciting from a Victorian point of view.
Reminds me of a day in 1989. I'll share in a sec.
As she loads up to cap it off. Yeah. And look at her go. She's kicked it. The Big V are home. I'm pretty excited, mate. I'm not going to hide it. That's fantastic effort. Sarah Cameron kicks her 3rd goal for the day.
And the crowd around us are looking at you very strangely.
There's a lot of Adelaide around us.
Fair enough. 1989, just that, you talked about that forward duo, SA Victoria v SA, reminded me of 1989, MCG, SA Vic State of Origin. Victoria had Lockett, Ablett and Dunstall. I was there with the SA cheer squad, went out on the ground with our banner, and we got booed by 80,000 people.
That's when you know you're not liked, when 80,000 people are doing it.
It was phenomenal. An amazing sporting moment to be booed by 80,000.
Danny Kalordi again. The way she works it. She's gone forward and the Gries has it again.
That's almost a mirror image of what they did at the start of the quarter.
Absolutely it was. Straight out of the middle, Danny Kalordi picks it up beautifully and just hits her lace out.
Yep. That's great. I mean, the work rate of Kalordi, picks it up and then the lead. Strong mark. Now it's the finish. It's all about the finish, Nick. Call it home.
And Caitlin Greiser, she's been fantastic all day today to finish it for the Vics. She loads up, she sends it forward and she misses to the right.
Oh, that's going to cost her a vote, I reckon.
Nah, that is disappointing, but that's a fantastic bit of play there by the Vics. You know, really showcasing what I think we've done for a lot of the day, and to take it to 19 scoring shots to 2.
And look, SA have set up very strong defensively. Victoria just the 6 goals, having had so much of the inside 50s. I mean, SA are probably running about 50% goals from inside 50s this afternoon.
They are, exactly. Once you get it over into your forward half, the SA's forward half.
It just opens up.
Absolutely.
So, you know, for the way that forward movement was, given that SA are crowding it, was very well done. Kavoris with the clearance into some space. Where's McDonald?
There she is. There she is.
To O'Brien.
She's never too far away from the action. Padfield again.
All the vote getters are there in one play there for you, Nick, just to make it easy for you.
Thank you, y'all.
But it's going to be a South Australian free.
They're all playing for it now. They're all playing for the awards, for the votes.
They are, they know.
Nah, it's fantastic team effort today. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Here's the kick. Big pack. At the front, McLinden. She's brought to ground, and there, no pro opportunity. Locals getting restless. I think there may be a half late. This game's been over for a fair while.
I'm pretty sure SA wouldn't have minded this type of enthusiasm from the crowd in the first half.
Just wait for the next game. We'll bring it to you on Spacequake Sports. SA trying to go forward. Forcing the fumble here. They could push it into open space. But in the end, stoppage forms. And this is a rare stoppage in SA's half of the field. 2.5 minutes to go of this contest. It is 37 points in favour of the visiting Victorians. But here comes South Australia. Grace Duffy inside forward 50. How will it spill? It spills to a red jumper. Can they escape? Maybe not. Maybe not. And it will be a ball up 45 metres out.
But once again, South Australia go forward and look dangerous, which they have. They've just had the limited opportunities, obviously, so far today. Nat McDonald again.
Nat McDonald, another touch. I reckon every defensive rebound she's been a part of today. Still inside forward 50. So SA are looking to finish strong. Just remembering the last game that was played. I'll have to get that score. See if they beat what the Goldfield girls kicked. They certainly had a better score at half-time. I reckon it might be pretty similar.
I think they have. I think the Goldfield girls kicked 1-1, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I reckon you're pretty close to the mark. But still a great effort from the visitors. The Australian Amateur Football Council, the championship match. The old rivals in new ways. And you just got to hope that this double-header format is... It's the first time we've seen it. Just hope it's not the last time, because I think it's got real legs to have the women and men playing on the same day.
Absolutely.
Really bringing the whole football community together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a fantastic day. You can see it in the crowd, the back-to-back, men and women, all on the big stage. I'm sure we'll see the rebound game over in Melbourne in 2 years.
As there's the attempt, the mark and the lead by Farrier. Unfortunately, Yana Lee's mark was about 10 metres out of bounds on the full. So we'll have a throw in. Into the final 30 seconds, you'll have to get your thoughts together, Nick, for the award.
Scribbling away.
Scribbling manfully away. Because I'm not sure we're going to have a spectacular highlight in the last 20 seconds. It looks like it's going to be scrimmage central. Tap towards the boundary line. We're down to 13 seconds. We're 50 metres out. Too far for anyone to score. This is going to be it.
What a performance from the Big V today. Yep. And there it is.
They came, they saw, and they conquered. The VFA Women's Competition. 2 years running, 2 rep games, 2 great wins. Today, simply just too good for the host, the Adelaide Football League of South Australia. The final score here has Victoria 6-13-49, South Australia 2 straight 12. I'm missing a goal scorer again somehow. Sarah Cameron got 3, I know that. Oh, I've got it. Rebecca Watson got 1, and Caitlin Greiser got 1, and Batman Tessa Zagantinos got the other one. That's my Victorian goals for the SA girls. 2 goals there. Taylor McKay picked up the first one. I'm just trying to recall the second. It'll come to me. Meanwhile, your moment of truth, Nick. Your best players for this afternoon.
Now, it's been obviously a fantastic all-round effort from the Big V girls today. Everyone played their role. Obviously, the midfield got on top, and Padfield in the ruck was fantastic. But my votes today Best on ground for the Big V is Nat McDonald across half-back. I think she would have just racked up 25 plus disposals, and she was there every time. There was a one-on-one, it was a one-on-two. She was winning the contest as well and delivering forward of the centre. Then we've got Sarah Cameron, 3 goals, provided fantastic target up forward and celebrated accordingly after each goal. Rebecca Watson in that first half really helped set the game up for the Big V, and Taylor Padfield in the ruck. I don't think she lost too many taps all day. We knew that if she got on top, we could get first use of the ball, and that's exactly what happened. But I also want to give a shout out to the Gries. Caitlin Greiser provided a fantastic target up forward. Kat O'Brien and Sasha Long, I found she was amongst it all day.
Nick, thank you so much. First time we've worked together, and it's
been
gone
fun.
Beautifully. I look forward to seeing your wrap up on VAFA Tragics during the week.
Beautiful, absolutely, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. This is Phil Hurd on behalf of the great Spacequake sports team. We will take a break as we've got a big game. Tommy Javor is coming in to call it. We'll be back after the break. This is the Australian Amateur Football Council Championship Matches.